Hi friends, welcome back. I hope you're doing great and are well. It's been long since I put up a video on my channel. So today I have come up to help you understand the amendments that were brought up in the section of residential status by the Finance Act 2020. So let's start. Now first we need to understand the position that was there before the amendment, and then we'll understand the amendment as well. Now the residential status of a person is defined under section 6 of the Income Tax Act. Now for an individual and an HUF to be called as a resident, the person has to satisfy one of the two basic conditions that are given. So let us understand the basic conditions that are there. Now the basic conditions are given in sections 6(1)(a) and 6(1)(c). You have to satisfy any one of these to be called as a resident. Now the first subsection says, section 6(1)(a) says that a person is said to be resident in India, an individual HUF is said to be resident in India if he stays in India for a period of 182 days or more. If that person stays in India for 182 days or more, he is said to be a resident. If this section is not satisfied, there is another condition that is to be satisfied, which says that the individual or HUF has to stay in India for a period of 60 days or more and has to stay in India for a period of 365 days or more in 4 preceding previous years. So the second condition says that he has to be in India for a period of 60 days or more in the previous year. 60 days or more in the previous year and has to stay in India for a period of 365 days or more in the 4 preceding previous years. So if any one of these conditions is satisfied, the person is said to be a resident. So this was the provision before the amendment. Also, there was an explanation to this section which said that an Indian citizen and a person of Indian origin, two persons, Indian citizen and a person of Indian origin who is residing outside India and who comes on a visit to India during the previous year, for them section 6(1)(c) doesn't apply. Only section 6(1)(a) applies, which means that for determining the residential status of an Indian citizen and a person of Indian origin who resides outside India and comes on a visit to India, you have to see whether the person stays in India for a period of 182 days or more. This subsection doesn't apply. So this was the position before the amendment. Now the amendment has come up in section 6 subsection 1 and clause C. Here it says that if an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin, whose Indian incomes are greater than 15 lakhs. So when you consider incomes, you don't have to consider incomes from foreign sources. You have to only consider the Indian incomes. So if the Indian incomes of the Indian citizen and person of Indian origin are greater than 15 lakhs during the previous year, then section 6(1)(c) shall apply, but there is a slight amendment. For those persons, section 6(1)(c) shall apply with an amendment of not 60 days, it shall be 120 days. So now, an Indian citizen or person of Indian origin who resides outside India and comes on a visit to India, for determining the residential status of such persons, you have to see both 6(1)(a) and 6(1)(c). Before 6(1)(c) was not applicable, now it is applicable with a modification of 120 days. Now, if this Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin whose Indian incomes are greater than 15 lakhs, this amendment is with respect to only those persons, Indian citizens and person of Indian origin, whose Indian incomes are greater than 15 lakhs. If so, then section 6(1)(c) shall apply with an amendment of 120 days. Now, these persons, if they are resident by virtue of section 6(1)(a), because section 6(1)(a) was previously applicable and now is also applicable. So if they become a resident by virtue of section 6(1)(a), they shall be called as a resident and ordinarily resident. They shall be a resident, but they shall be a resident and an ordinarily resident. However, if they become resident by virtue of section 6(1)(c), then they shall be called as a resident and not ordinarily resident. They shall be called as an RNOR. So this is the first amendment that has been brought up in the section of residential status. Again, an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin who resides outside India and comes on a visit to India and whose incomes during the previous year are greater than 15 lakhs, then section 61C, which was previously not applicable, is now applicable with an amendment of 120 days instead of 60 days. And if such persons become resident by virtue of section 6(1)(a), they shall be deemed as resident and ordinarily resident. However, if they become resident by virtue of section 6(1)(c), they shall be called as a resident and not ordinarily resident. Now, by this amendment, we understand one thing, that the additional conditions are not applicable for such persons. We already had some additional conditions in the previous, before the amendment, which are still applicable, but for these persons now it doesn't apply, because we already know when will they be called a resident and ordinarily resident, and when will they be called a resident and not ordinarily resident. So for them, additional conditions doesn't apply. Those additional conditions for determining ROR and RNOR are already given, which includes you should be a resident for at least 2 years out of the 10 preceding previous years, and you should be residing in India for a period of 730 days out of the 7 preceding previous years. So those additional conditions do not apply for determining ROR or RNOR in these cases. Which cases? Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin whose income is greater than 15 lakhs. Clear? So this is the first amendment that has come up. Now there is another amendment which has come up called as deemed residency. So a new section has been inserted. New section which is called as section 6(1)(a). Now this section has been introduced with the concept of deemed residency. Now what does deemed residency mean? Deemed residency means, here we are talking about an Indian citizen. We are not talking about person of Indian origin. We are only talking about Indian citizen. So an Indian citizen who resides outside India and comes on a visit to India, whose incomes are greater than 15 lakhs and whose income is not taxable in any other country by virtue of his residence or domicile. For example, say suppose there is Mr. A who is an Indian citizen who resides outside India and whose Indian incomes are greater than 15 lakhs and his incomes are not taxable in any other country by virtue of his residence there. He might be called as a resident by virtue of the laws in any other country, but he is not taxable, his income is not taxable in that country. So in such cases, he shall be deemed as an RNOR in that previous year in India. He shall be deemed as a resident and not ordinarily resident in India. Understood? So section 6(1)(a) talks about deemed residency and talks about, which says that an Indian citizen who resides outside India and comes on a visit to India, whose Indian incomes are greater than 15 lakhs. Indian incomes are greater than 15 lakhs and whose income is not taxable, whose incomes are not taxable in any other country. Then in such cases, this person shall be deemed to be a RNOR, resident and not ordinarily resident. So these are the amendments that are brought up in the residential status by the Finance Act 2020. So these as we can see, these amendments are with respect to only Indian citizen and person of Indian origin. So now after this, I will help you understand how do you determine the residential status stepwise for Indian citizens and person of Indian origin, because there are different sections. There is section 6(1)(c) which is modified section by the amendment, and there is also section 6(1)(a) which talks about deemed residency. And as you can see, these both sections are applicable to Indian citizens. This section modified section 6(1)(c) is applicable to Indian citizen as well as person of Indian origin. However, section 61A is applicable only to the new section that is there is applicable only to Indian citizens. So let us understand how do you solve it, how do you determine the residential status of both the persons stepwise. So now let us look at the steps that are to be followed for an Indian citizen to determine the residential status. So first let us understand for an Indian citizen. Now for Indian citizens, two new sections are applicable. One is the modified section 61C and section 61A as well, which talks about deemed residency. Now if we logically think, first we have to apply and see whether section 61A becomes applicable. First we have to see this. Now what is section 61A? Indian incomes are greater than 15 lakhs and he is not taxable in any other country due to his residence. So here two conditions are to be checked. Whether his Indian incomes are greater than 15 lakhs and whether his incomes are taxable in any other country due to his residence or not. So if both these conditions satisfy, then section 61A becomes applicable and he shall be deemed to be a RNOR. Additional conditions are not to be checked. No additional conditions. Okay. Now, next step that you have to apply, if section 61A doesn't get satisfied, next you have to see section 61C, which is a modified section. Modified in the sense, the new amendment wherein 120 days is substituted in place of 60 days. So that section has to be checked. Here, why do we see this as a second step? Because here there is only one condition that needs to be checked. An Indian citizen whose Indian incomes are greater than 15 lakhs. The second condition of not taxable in any other country is not applicable here. So if this is 61A is not satisfied, for example, if an Indian citizen whose incomes are greater than 50 lakhs but still taxable in any other country, then 61A will not apply, but 61C shall apply. And here we need to check 61C modified gets applied and you have to check 61A and 61C. If he is a resident by virtue of section 61A, the original section, then he shall be an ROR. And if he is resident by virtue of section 61C modified, the 120 days which was substituted in place of 60 days, that section has to be checked. And if he is resident by virtue of that section, he shall be called as an RNOR. Additional conditions are not to be checked. Next, if section 61C modified also doesn't apply, for example, he is an Indian citizen but his Indian incomes doesn't exceed 15 lakhs, then in that case, normal provisions that already existed apply. That means original section 61C is not deleted. If the Indian citizen doesn't follow in this bracket, in the second bracket, then normal provisions will apply, which means only section 61C is applicable. Section 61C is not applicable because the original section before amendment the section was if an Indian citizen who resides outside India and comes on a visit to India, then section 61C shall not apply. That means only 182 days criteria had to be checked. So in that case you have to check section 61A. If section 61A is applicable, then he will become a resident. Then you have to also check additional conditions to determine whether he is an ROR or RNOR. So these were the steps to be followed for an Indian citizen. Now let us look at the steps to be followed by a person of Indian origin. Those are very easy. So when I talk about person of Indian origin, first you have to see section 61C and then you have to see normal provisions. Now, why is it so? Because section 618 doesn't apply for a person of Indian origin. It applies only to Indian citizen. However, section 61C modified applies to both Indian citizen as well as person of Indian origin. So, first you have to see section 61C, which is modified. If this applies, then again you have to see the residential status. If it is satisfied by section 61A, it will be called as a ROR. If it satisfies section 61C modified, then it will be called as an RN owner. And if section 61C modified doesn't apply, normal provisions will apply, wherein section 61A only will apply. And if he is staying in India for a period of more than 182 days or more, he shall be called as a resident. And then you will have to check additional conditions for determining ROR or RNOR. So these are the amendments that were brought up by the Finance Act 2020 in the section of residential status. So I hope you understood this, and if you have any doubts or any queries, you can put it in the comments below. And that's it for today, and I shall see you in the next one. Thank you.